Okay, here we are in the square foot garden, and you notice I've got some tomato plants that are tied up. So I've had a bit of a bird problem. We have a wonderful little birdhouse next door at the neighbor's yard, and it's right there. And then I have, of course, this turns into a bird bath in the evenings. They don't like it when it's running fountain, but in the evenings, I've seen a couple of birds there. But birds are a problem anywhere. So we have been having our red tomatoes eaten by the birds. So I have wrapped these up so that my tomatoes can ripen and we can enjoy some tomatoes. We've worked so hard to grow all these things. So I'm just hoping that the blooms will pollinate. I understand if I just give them a little shake that they can self-pollinate, but the honeybees, as long as they're wrapped up, they won't be able to pollinate. So we've had a couple of little problems. The slugs don't seem to be much of an issue anymore. It's heating up and here in Florida, and the insects are coming out. My tomatoes, I've pulled a couple of cutworms, I think that's what they're called, off of a couple of tomatoes, and we've had some birds eat some tomatoes, but I've got some here that I'm protecting, and hopefully we'll be able to pick these maybe tomorrow. The biggest problem with my tomatoes right now is that they get to a certain point and then the little blooms fall off. And I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but they were blooming and then they fell off. And I think it's, from what I can gather, that I've watered them too much, or that I've used Miracle-Gro, which about every 2 weeks I'll water with a little Miracle-Gro. And I understand that can disrupt the blooming. So when I first started my tomato plants, I used a lot of powdered milk and Epsom salt to fertilize, and they did wonderfully. As you can tell at the beginning of the vine, I mean, I just have tomatoes after tomatoes, and then as it grows, they're kind of dwindling. So I'm going back to, I'm going to not water as frequently because we've also gotten a lot of rain recently, and then I'm going to start using some more of the powdered milk, which provides phosphorus, which they desperately need and they love. So hopefully we can get these tomato plants under control. I have, as you might notice if you've been watching the videos, I have no more broccoli. I pulled all that out, and I pulled out the majority of my green beans. They were so yummy. The green beans just did wonderfully, so I highly recommend planting bush green beans. I've planted some more right over here, and that's the Roma green beans, and then I have some Blue Lake green beans also planted. Those just did very well, and those are planted 9 per square. I've run into a little bit of a problem with them. For instance, here, these plants look like they may have been experiencing some kind of fungus or something. Like I said, we've been getting a lot of rain lately, so these plants, looks like the growth has been stunted on them. I have a little bit of a brown, and they've turned like a yellow-green, where usually they're nice and big and happy, like that one right there. So I've sprayed these with a little bit of baking soda and water to try to get rid of any kind of fungus and remove some of the bad leaves. And of course there's some on here that are still bad, but we'll see how they do. And I still have some that are doing very well. I just trying to just cut that back on the water a little bit. I don't use the irrigation system much. Like I said, we have been getting a lot of rain, and I do try to water at the roots whenever possible. So I've slowly been planting a lot more peppers. We have a hot banana pepper here, and I have a gypsy pepper right there. I planted a green bell pepper here. The watermelon is just taking off here. This is a yellow bell pepper. It's green now. Hopefully it'll be yellow soon. We have a cucumber vine just really taking off. And I have some baby cucumbers on here somewhere, but can't seem to find them right now. There's one. And here's one of my tomato plants. I've tied these in little footy hose to try to protect them from the birds and let those ripen up a little bit. These are some bush beans that I planted as kind of as an experiment. These were planted 2 seeds per hole, and there were 9 holes per the square foot. So that actually gave me 18 plants. So we'll just see how this does. Like I said, it's kind of an experiment. I don't know how big my beans will get. Looks like something's eating that, but they're growing in here pretty well. Looks like I'm gonna have about a 2-week delay in between my green beans because I didn't do the continuous harvest or continuous planting so I could get a continuous harvest. I let a little bit of a time lapse in there. I'm planning on going on vacation here soon, so I don't want to have a lot of stuff coming in when I'm gone. And this is the corn. See a lot of corn silk there. And it just really seems to be doing pretty well. I'm anxious to see how it's going to turn out. Hopefully nothing will eat it before I get to eat it. Down here I've used these little bamboo skewers for a lot of different things in my garden. This is basically to support the base of the corn, because when the wind would just take a hold of these and almost try to knock them over. So they gave it a little bit of the support that it needed. I also use these little bamboo skewers that you can find like at the dollar store, anywhere for like $1 a pack or something, or about about 50 of them, just to kind of stake down this netting. But overall, everything seems to be doing real well. I just have a couple of problems I've got to kind of take care of before I can go on and plant some more things. And we have really been enjoying a lot of the herbs. This is some Thai basil here, and some mint, some dill, a watermelon vine, and I think we're going to be having those couple of tomatoes tomorrow for lunch, for a BLT. Anybody that has advice out there, just let me know, because this is my first year doing something this big, and I need all the help I can get. Even though it's pretty easy so far, and it's fun.